Check 1, 2, check, check. I have no idea what happened. Literally, YouTube just ended the stream. I didn't press anything. Oh, good lord. It's working now. Audio check 1, 2. Sounds much better. Okay, perfect. Good. All right. What's up, Brad? You're catching the third attempt. I'm trying to get this damn live stream going. I need to talk to you about live streams too. This has been just a nightmare. I thought this would be so easy. All right. Well, I wonder if it'll let me do the webcam now. Should I even tempt it? Did it just totally glitch? Gosh, this is so dumb. All right, let's just freaking do it. This is so stupid. This thing is just lagging like crazy. I'm sure the audio is jacked. The mouse is just stuck. Ugh, this is not fun. I can't even. Let me see if it's even open on YouTube right now. It's frozen with my hands on it. All right. Now. All right, we're just gonna leave it be. Have I tried swearing at it? No, maybe that's what I need to do. Yeah, please, live stream advice. Okay, I don't know, is the webcam glitching now or is it working correctly? I can't, if I open OBS, the whole thing just stops. Let me open my phone and see if it's working. It's just super glitchy, huh? Yeah, okay, we're turning off the webcam. Nobody gets to see my face. Face reveal, no more. Go away. Nothing is working for me right now. Well, if the mouse will stop freaking stuttering, I could turn the webcam off so I can get the computer running correctly. This is just a nightmare. Thanks for watching my my nightmare in real time. Really appreciate it. I can't even click anything. Well, I guess while it's doing this, hopefully the audio works so I can kind of say what the plan is. What I've been up to, what's coming up. Can I turn it off, please? Thank you. All right. Delete work. You guys can't see the absolute chaos on my screen right now of the thing just glitching like crazy. Let's delete. I'm getting all these warning errors. Only 6 separate issues. That's yeah. Audio sounds like Samper. I don't understand. It's all going through my camera right now through the cam link. So I don't understand. All right, I'm going to do one last thing. We're just going to try and connect it directly to the computer with a USB. Do I have one of those around here? We might just have to do that like I've done before. All right, guys, I am so sorry. This is just an absolute mess. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go grab a USB cable, and we'll try and bypass the camera completely and go USB directly into this for the audio. 1 second. All right, let's freaking do this. Back for more fun. Screw this. That's what I say. All right, you're getting unplugged there. That's hopefully going to not kill everybody's ears when I unplug that. You're getting plugged in there. Now, if I can get the computer to let me get to OBS without glitching, I can change the audio. Check 1, 2, check, check. All right, now we're plugged directly into the computer. I'm showing there's audio, so hopefully you guys can hear. Please let me know if it sounds okay. I just patted it a little bit. Audio's golden now. Okay, hallelujah. Oh, now I got wires everywhere. Oh, this crap. Well, howdy. Sounds like sounds, yay. Well, coming to you guys from what is typically sunny Southern California. It's currently pouring right now, which is fun. And better, 2 thumbs up, fine. Okay, great. Well, today's my birthday, actually my 30th birthday. I'm not really a very sentimental guy when it comes to birthdays, so I've actually got a lot of work to catch up on, including Scott in the chat here. I've got his amp on the in the queue right now, and I just got some more parts for it today. So definitely need to catch up on some stuff. I took a little bit of a break. I was just pumping videos out as much as possible in February. I can't remember what the total video count was, but over 20. And I was just doing as much. I was just working so hard to try and get A, the amps done, but then B, also just have content. And then, yeah, I took a little bit of a break and did a little vacation, small vacation with my wife and 7-month-old, and I'm back. So I've got 3 very, very cool amps. Thank you. Thank you, guys. 3 very, very cool amps ready to be worked on, including a 60s Showman, dual Showman, I believe. I can't remember which one it is. And then that Bassman you guys saw, the 61 Bassman, and then Scott's 61, I believe it's a 61, right? 61 Super, which is a very cool amp. And it's actually funny. I'm in talks right now with a guy. I'd mentioned this before in, I think, Brad's stream, that I'm in talks with the guy for a 60 Bandmaster 3x10, which happens to use the same output transformer as the super you have there that I've got from you, Scott. So, and that's actually the part that's missing in the Bandmaster. Somebody replaced it with the basement output transformer, which is a lot more powerful. So it's kind of interesting to me that they use the same output transformer on that 3x10, which is obviously the super would have been a 2x10. So kind of fascinating how that works. But we'll see if that ends up on the workbench or not in talks with the guy right now. But anyways, yeah, I got some very cool amps ready to go here. And then on a more personal note, you guys are just looking at a laptop, you can't see anything. Sorry. If I turn on the webcam, the whole thing just glitches. But on a more personal note, oh, maybe I can do this. Here, let me try something real quick. Let's see if this works. Oh, no, I can't do it. Wait, maybe if I do this. This is so hokey. I've got this like super rigged setup with the camera on a tripod here. That's about as good as I can get if I shrink down. That's the forehead view right there. Let's see if it'll work. I need to wait for it to catch up. Okay. Well, that's about as good as we can get. At least you can see me when I'm talking. So yeah, so then I've got, what was I saying, on a more personal note, I've got a couple cool amps of mine that nobody has seen on the channel yet outside of that gear collection video. Oh, look at that. Freaking cut myself at some point. Didn't even notice that. Including a 1964 Vox AC10. And I just paid a deposit with a guy in the UK to build me a head cab for it to match my AC30 head cab. They did make head and cab versions of the AC10. They're very rare, and they were exclusively models with the reverb card in the back. But I'm having him make me a head cab to use with the Vox Super Twin 2x12 cab for gigging. So I've been doing a lot of playing out. In fact, I've got a gig this Sunday, the first travel gig for our band in Arizona. And then we've got two big gigs here in San Diego next week. So lots of stuff going on there, playing that vintage Vox AC30 at all of those gigs. That's kind of been my go-to, and then I pair it with another amp. So lots of stuff going on the personal side, lots of gigs. Just did a rehearsal last night. Got a couple more coming up, but yeah, things have been great. I think lots of stuff going on. So I just kind of wanted to catch up with you guys, and B, try and work through some amps. So I wanted to pull up Scott's amp, which is just a beautiful piece of history, get it on the workbench and just start taking a look at it. We already looked at it briefly on just kind of a first glance video, but I want to start working on it. So that's the goal for this stream. And yeah, see, I have a 61 Vibrolux output transformers replaced the beefier Pro transformer, I think. Nice, yeah. The output transformers on Vibrolux. Let me think. What wattage is a brown face Vibrolux? I'm not familiar with what the brown face Vibroluxes are. I know they're all a little wonky, just like a Princeton in the Tweed era was not, a 12 watt amp like we know in the blackface era. Vibrolux is 40, but that's what the super is, isn't it? Isn't it? It's got to be less, right? Is it the same wattage as the blackface era, 35 watts? Anyways, I'm just looking at the the view. You guys see, I can't physically make the camera lift it up any higher because there's a shelf above it. So all you can see is my forehead or my nose. This is lovely. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get the amp on the workbench, move some wires around, and let's get started. It's pouring rain in the background. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. But thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Let's get to doing some work. Try and get it roughly level like it was before. Move my laptop off to the side here with all these cables. All right, so let's get this. I go back and forth on using this. Let me put the mic up towards me. I go back and forth with using this in videos. Let me know what you guys think. I like the aesthetic more of the worn wood, but this is kind of nice for keep things cleaner. Have everything on here and just clean this. But I think we'll go ahead and remove it for this. I wonder if there's a way on YouTube where I can view it bigger without losing the chat here. So I'd like to be able to see what the can't see it anymore. And anytime I touch the computer, it just freaking glitches and lags. Good Lord. All right, let me just pull it up on my phone here. Gosh, it's so bad. It looks okay. It's not great, let's be honest. The bitrate's pretty low, but I can't go any higher, otherwise it just freaking lags out. Good Lord, dude. Just freaking open. This is dumb. Let me go grab the amp. Actually got a big box of stuff here. I believe this was a rectifier. Yeah. So we got a box of parts here. I like to kind of organize all the parts I get in for the amp into each individual box. Every amp I work on will have a box here with all the various parts. We've got things like some blue moldeds, a bunch of Sprague caps here, F&T caps here, you know, trim pot, resistor, some 5881s. More stuff. This is my preferred cable when I do a 3-prong swap on these vintage Fenders like this. I really like this. Just a heavy-duty extension cord, but I like the gray color. I'm trying to think. Let me see. I think the 61s had gray, right? Yeah. So this era they had a gray power cable, and let me just swear at you. So they had a gray power cable, and I just like keeping it gray. And I've actually did it to my Blackface amps too, and my Vox. This is my preferred. It's quite long. It was this 15 feet, which for me, because I gig, I always prefer a much longer power cable when I'm putting in an amp. There's nothing worse than having a short power cable and not being able to, reach somewhere, put the amp where you actually want it. So I love this. I like the gray. It's nice and thick. It's got, it's good quality, and yeah, huge fan of this. So we'll be putting this on the Super for the 3-prong swap and keeping it gray just like the original. So now let's go and grab the chassis. There you go. And then you can see the gray 2-prong. Staying just for the streaming difficulty. Appreciate that. Let me try and brighten it up so I can see what I'm looking at here a bit better. Does the quality look okay? It looks fairly sharp, right? I mean, the bitrate's pretty low, but it still looks fairly sharp. Yeah, it looks okay. Okay. I feel all right about that now. Only like an hour in. That's when you start getting it sorted. But yeah, so this is Scott's amp. And this is just a ridiculous. I mean, it's so clean. I mean, it's got little, a couple of marks here and there on the faceplate, but this thing is stupid clean. Really, really beautiful. And yeah, we went through it in the video. I pointed out kind of the couple things that are changed, but it's like 99% all original. Let me grab my little laptop real quick so I can point things out. All right, start prepping for when I'm ready to do work here. So yeah, we already discharged this and everything, but I know some people freak out about seeing me, like touching an amp, which I totally get. But yep, already discharged. But yeah, you guys saw in the other video for this, the first videos a couple weeks ago now at this point. But yeah, it's basically all original, and if you didn't really know what you're looking for, you would, it'd be okay to think it was all original. Couple small things. We've got this resistor right here, and you can see the original. Let me zoom in a little bit. Hopefully you can see that. So you can see how these are two different. This is a cheaper, more modern component. But yeah, this is now Allen Bradley, and then we had as part of the parts list, or as part of the box of parts for this, and new old stock Allen Bradley to swap in there, because this one tested fine. So the new one matches this, so we'll be putting those back in there. And then if I remember correctly, the only other thing on this that was not original was the 68Ks here. Let's see that. So these were swapped, or at least one of those was swapped, maybe both, but for sure this one back here, you can see the rings, the color codes on it is different. I mean, it's the same color codes, but it's the thickness is different, obviously a different resistor. So that was, I think, the only thing. I might be forgetting something, but check the video because I went through it much more thoroughly in that. So, and I guess, I mean, actually, this input jack's definitely replaced. You can see it's sticking out more of the threads. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. If it'll focus. Sticking out more of the threads there. Looks like it was messed with. Hard to tell from this vantage. Oh, they've got another spacer. Looks like they've got two lock washers on this one. So it looks like it's a longer one, and they tried to push it further back by using another lock washer spacer here, but it's still got some threads poking out. So very minor. The guy said it did not have that input, so he added it. That jack was completely missing in 1975. What? Okay. That's interesting. I don't know if you can see that or not. Maybe you can see there's got extra spacers on it. Normally I have a big, well, I've got a big kind of TV monitor just above the camera on a shelf above the camera that I use to see the output of the camera because I can't see the screen. But since I'm running HDMI directly into the laptop for you guys to be able to see, I can't actually see what I'm looking at unless I look at YouTube, but there's a big delay. So if things are out of focus or whatever, I apologize. We're working with what we got here. But yeah, so lots to do. It's just so, man, it's just such a cool amplifier. It's so lovely seeing something that's basically all original and kind of seeing how they did things. For example, you've got these ground connections here. going to the brass plate. And then you've got this wire that they soldered on between those to connect them. I mean, is that original? I don't know. But it's weird. I don't think it's original, right? There's no other wire like this. Why would somebody do that? I don't know. That's like the weird stuff to me. It's kind of fun to figure out. Maybe Scott will have to find a photo of a original and see if they have this junction wire connecting between the two ground points. I doubt it, but it's just weird, kind of interesting. Just noticing that. But otherwise, I mean, it's just perfect, which is kind of exactly what you want. So the goal is to replace all of these electrolytics caps and all the ones in the doghouse. We're going to go ahead and try and stuff the caps. So we're going to try and fit Sprague atom replacements in all of those locations. And then the doghouse, it already has swaps to it. So we're not going to stuff those. Yeah, we're going to do that. And then once we have all of that swapped, we will check for leaky voltage on all of these yellow Astrons and confirm those are good to go. Hopefully they are fine. If they're not, then we'll probably replace those with blue moldeds. I can't remember, Scott, what the second order was of parts coming to me, but the first set came with two blue moldeds to have available. So, and the blue moldeds are almost never bad. I've never personally run into one that was leaking. So yeah, the board is stupid clean too. It's so, man, what a breath of fresh air after the 70s fenders and all the wax. Just so gross. Not fun at all. But anyways, killer amplifier. So we've got the soldering iron heating up here. Try and get my cables out of the way so I don't burn anything. Now, as far as, stuffing caps, I know it's kind of a hot button issue. Some people really, really hate when you do that. I just kind of want to say at the outset that I totally understand that perspective to some degree, but also it's pretty obvious, especially on something like this. These caps are so tall. I don't know if you can see how tall they are, but they're so tall. There's no, you're not going to be able to hide that this is different. So we'll have something here, probably some black foam, so it doesn't stick out too much. And you're not going to tell, from dead on like this, but from any angle, slight angle, you're clearly going to see they're stuffed. That's A. B, I will put inside the doghouse a note on some blue painter's tape saying when it was recapped. And there's also a video record of this amplifier getting, capped. So there's no hiding that. It's not, to try and fool somebody. It's just to try and keep things looking as original and beautiful as possible. I mean, it's just lovely. And if you're into this sort of thing, then, you want to preserve it. If you're not, that's fine. And tons of people aren't and are happy to rip out all the original components and throw on, a bunch of, there's some amp tech channels where they will literally replace all of these Astrons with orange drops. Every single one. They won't even test them. They just straight swap them. I am not that kind of person. That kind of person is just different. They just have a different perspective than I do. I want to maintain the originality as much as possible and keep things looking nice. And that means stuffing caps. I'm happy to do that because I think it's an amp like this deserves it. So that's me off my pedestal. Is it the channel's birthday or your personal birthday? It is my personal birthday today, Daniel. My 30th birthday, in fact. And yeah, it's a dreary, rainy day here, and I've got a lot of amps to catch up on, so I figured I might as well try and live stream. So that's what we're doing here. All right, let me get all my stuff ready to go here. I totally... I don't know if I'd replace them with orange drops, though, Lyle. That's fair. I'm definitely haven't run into a bunch of Astrons, and I'm sure most of these are leaky. But I'm just the default replaced with the orange. It's just so ugly to me. Like, at least get some yellow caps that look semi right. The giant orange, it's just such a turn off to me whenever I see it. Same thing with, like putting in shiny if this is a personal thing, be very clear, but seeing, shiny mod caps, they're that kind of bright silver color and everything else all original, and then you just have like some shiny silver. It just throws off to me. That's why in my own personal lamps, I usually use I use F&T and then Sprague. Not for any performance changes or anything, but just honestly, visually, I like the black. It's more subtle versus just pops out. Orange drops are the worst offender of that, but mod also stick out like a sore thumb to me. Orange County, nice. Yeah, I am in Oceanside, so the very north end of San Diego County. So depending on where you're at in Orange County, it could be quite close once you get through Camp Pendleton. Most I've found have clip leads. Yeah, totally. No, I get it. We'll see. We'll see, Scott, what we got to work with here. What is your death cap? Let me check real quick. 0.047. 600 volt. Is that right? Yeah, 600 volt, 0.047. Yeah, it's all 0.1s, huh? Just about all the Astrons. Yeah, all of the Astrons are 0.1s. Okay. Well, we'll figure it out as we go. We'll see what it takes. So let me just kind of think of a plan of attack. I think we'll probably start the bias cap here. Move everything down a little bit. You guys will have to let me know if it's not auto-focusing, because I can't tell. Oceanside is beautiful. Midwesterner here. Well, welcome, Sean. I love Oceanside. This is I love living here. There's a lot of reasons why I don't want to live here anymore, but on a nice day, which is usually a nice day, it's quite nice. Happy to have my daughter born here as well. Sounds kinky. Lots of people, I'd say lots of people do it. Not many people do it on YouTube videos. Uncle Doug has done it on a few, but and I've done it on my reverb, my vintage reverb tank video. That was my first kind of try at it. So we'll try it again with this. But basically, you're just putting a new component into it, because this, you can see I'm turning it. The cap's not moving. The outer cover is moving. So you can just kind of pull the outer covering off, slide out the old cap, and then put in the new one. So yeah, that's pretty straightforward. Let me grab the replacement real quick just to show. Got my box of parts here. So here's the replacement new old stock Allen Bradley 1 meg 470. Excuse me. These are the cathode bypass caps here for these two and these two. Sprague. So you can kind of see how those will fit. If you can see that roughly. And then we've got a 5, what is this? 8 microfarad, 150 volt. And where's the other one? And then this is the 5 micro. So this one will go right here, and then this one will go right in there like that. I like function over form, but hold nothing against keeping a stock look. Yeah, well, I mean, the good thing about this is you're getting both, right? So you're getting function, modern, high-quality capacitors, replacing the old stuff, but then you're also having it look nice, or at least look, kind of, to me at least, aesthetically pleasing, because it's exactly how it looks now, more or less, which is pretty beautiful. Now, I will say this amp has lovely, large domes. Let me zoom in a little bit here, if you can see that. And see how large the domes are on this. That's going to be hard to replicate. I believe that was from, and Lyle, correct me if I'm wrong if you're still in the chat, they flip it, or they install the components upside down. And so that was from the solder, gravity pulling the solder down and then cooling and hardening, and so you get those domes. So you can kind of replicate it without installing everything upside down, but that is these are quite large. So let me see how I'm going to do this, because I still want to record this and turn this into an actual video. So let's see if I can. So we'll see if this works or not. So hopefully the video will not turn off when I start recording on the camera. Let's find out. Let's see if I lose output. Gotta wait for the delay on YouTube to see. Still working for you guys? Thanks, Lyle. See ya. Stuffing caps is okay. It's still here. Okay, perfect. So the camera's actually recording now. The unfortunate piece, actually, that's a good reminder, is that it's going to be camera audio. Check 1 2, check 1 2, check 1 2, check. So the audio will not be as good on the video, but that's okay. Let's see. Stuffing caps is arts and crafts is like making a car body kit out of cardboard. Fair enough. Fair enough. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't typically see these kind of amps on your channel, Brad, where they're, you know, the all original, you know, early or late 50s, early 60s stuff. When you get this sort of thing, I don't know, maybe customers don't ask for that. Is that not really a thing where you're at? So now that's recording, I can't actually see any of the camera output. It's just the screen is black right now. So you guys will have to just let me know if anything's crazy. But anyways, I'm going to have to kind of also speak like I'm doing a YouTube video versus a live stream. So bear with me here. But let me zoom out. This will be funny. Wait for the YouTube to catch up so I can see if the thing is still in focus. What's up, guys? We're back on the workbench with this beautiful brown face super amp, and this is actually being recorded while I do a live stream, so we'll see how this edits together later. But you can go ahead and go to the live portion of my channel, and we'll have the video here so you can kind of see me do it in real time, or at least, you know, without any cuts or anything if you're into that sort of thing. But we're going to go ahead and try and simultaneously create this YouTube video you're watching now while also doing live. So bear with me here. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and start with, there's going to be a lot of work to this amp. It's really a restoration project, you know, kind of akin to I think I called it a resto mod in the first video of the series. But, you know, you've got this beautiful all original piece, and we want to keep it looking as all original as possible. So we got, you know, new old stock components to replace resistors that are out of spec. And then we're going to be stuffing caps here, which is, you know, slightly controversial, but that's okay. You know, life requires a little controversy to be interesting. So we're going to go ahead and move forward. Now we're first going to go ahead and start with this bias cap here. And this is the replacement. So this is a 8 microfarad 150 volt Sprague atom. So this will be inside the cardboard shield around here. So first we got to remove the old one. Take my jacket off. It's starting to get hot in here. Yeah, Jim, it's not about it being all original. It's about it, you know, looking all original. Just like, you know, you see the same thing with muscle cars and whatever. They might have carbon fiber body panels that are matched to look exactly like the original, but they weigh significantly less because they're not steel, but you get better performance because it's lighter weight. It's that sort of concept. All right, let's get started here. So if you guys don't know, this lead right here In this case, the positive end going to ground off this cap is connected here to the chassis. And so if we try and desolder and pull this out, it's not going to come out. So we have to actually snip it and cut it. So we're just going to go ahead and do that first. So now we'll just go ahead and add some solder to this end. Just get it flowing a little bit. Somebody pointed this out. It's a good tip. I do it every once in a while, but I think I'll start doing it more. Just doing a little heat sink with a little alligator clip there on something we don't want to get too hot. I don't, you know, if I have to stick on something for a long time, I'll do it. You guys saw me do it over in the Silvertone series a bit more, but you know, typically you're not on it things for that long, so it doesn't matter that much, but there we go. It's make-believe. If it's all original, it wouldn't work properly. I think it's fun. I don't know. I like that. Yeah, right about the arts and crafts side of it. I think it, you know, I think it's fun to kind of do that and make things look as it was, but still perform. You know, I don't know. It's more work for sure, but I think it's worth it. Let's put it this way. I do it with amps, my own personal amps, and if you you don't want to do that, you don't have to. It's much easier the other way. Like polishing the head covers. My stream go down all of a sudden? The heck? Stream went down on my end for a sec. I don't know if it did for you guys. So now we just got to go ahead and try and lift the lip of the cardboard without disturbing it too much. I'm going to do it on this side, the negative side. Well, it's the positive side going to ground because it's the side you don't really see. So it's already got a little bit of wear there. I'm just going to point that out from, I don't know, from whatever. So basically just trying to get under the lip and lift it up just a tad. Try and zoom in a little bit. There we go. All right, so now that it's, you know, lifted a little bit, then we should be able to slide out the cap fairly easily. Video's jumpy. Yeah, the laptop just keeps glitching. I don't know why. Nothing I can do about it, unfortunately. It's just is what it is. Nearly got it. There we go. All right, so there's the old cap out. Go ahead and just show the new cap size-wise. You can see it fits very easily in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and just make little foam end caps, black foam. That won't stand out or anything. We'll just kind of hold it in place. So let me go grab that foam real quick. So I've used this kind of foam in the past, and it works pretty well and is not conductive or anything. So I think we'll give that a try first. Now I know some people actually create like wood dowels, but I don't have the tools to do that. But you won't actually really see anything, right? You're just seeing the leads coming out either side, just holding it in place basically. So let me just kind of, I can't really do this on camera because I don't have the workbench space, but it's fairly straightforward. So basically step one is I'm just cutting out a little square of the foam here. And you don't have to get it perfect. The foam, you know, compresses. So when you put it in, it'll compress into a circle basically. So just to show what that looks like real quick. So I have this square, or it's not even perfect square, but it doesn't actually matter because once I put it in here, find something thicker to push it in with. So you can see like that. I don't know if you can see that or not, but is that the blue death cap by the power cord? Yes, this is the death cap. The video is so far behind on YouTube. It's got to be like 2 minutes behind. Holy cow. Can you guys see the cap in my hand? Are we at that point yet? Basically, if this shows or not, I don't know if it does, but it's porous enough that the lead will just pop right through it, like so. And so you'll just see from the side that. Pretty straightforward. So, but this is too thick to see the cap is, so I just got to cut down the size of the other end, but it's pretty straightforward. So we just got to cut it down a little bit. Cool. So basically, this is what it looks like. Yeah, odds are you say, yeah, no. It's literally like a 2-3 minute delay for some reason. So yeah, it's basically you just have it around. You don't need to be a perfect circle on the foam because it just compresses. And it looks weird under the light because the light reflects it. I've got this giant light next to me. But yeah, it blends in really well. And yeah, pretty straightforward. Obviously, you want to make sure the positives go in the right direction. So positive matches what it says on the tin. Just kind of fold it in like that. Like so. And then now we're just going to go ahead and fold over the edges of the cardboard. Obviously, being paper, it's, you're never going to, it's not meant to be folded and unfolded multiple times, so it's not going to look perfect, but we can get it looking decent. So there you go. You got it stuffed both ends. And then, yeah, it'll go just like that. And so it'll look basically as it did before, you know, unless you're really looking close. But it's also, you know, pretty obvious once you actually look at it that it's been stuffed. So it's not fooling anybody, but it looks right from the top, which is really the goal. So cool. So now we just need to cut it to the right length, and we will go ahead and remove all of the solder in both of these areas just to make sure that we get a nice good connection. So we've got it stuffed here, and we just used some foam, as you can see there, and just kind of compresses nicely. It's not conductive or anything, and you just kind of have to unfold the cardboard ends here and then refold them. Obviously, because it's paper, it's, you know, it's not going to be perfect. When you unfold and refold it, some of the covering will lift off, but that's kind of the nature of the beast. I'm not aware of any way to do it where it won't do that. But from the actual side you see it, right, like it looks totally fine. So pretty happy with that. So we'll go ahead and be installing this back here. Now we just got to remove the solder to get a fresh connection, and we'll be good to go. You guys will have to deal with me going back and forth between YouTube, regular video, and a live. Did it really not focus? I have to wait for the delay for it to show. Wow. Why would it not focus? Anyways, onward. And it is pouring outside. Here's me running 38 gauge Kynar wire. I don't know what any of that means, but that sounds really fun. All right, so again, this lead is from this right here, going to the chassis ground there. So we're just gonna go ahead and bend that down and out of the way. Just like that. Just want to get a bit more solder out of this eyelet. There we go. Cool. Do the same thing on this side. I think I'll just go ahead and pop this wire out first so I have a bit more room. guess we can try and lift this resistor too while we're at it. Yeah. So Brad, if you're in here still, I'm curious. Did you start by doing amp repair, or were you doing other electronic repair and then kind of got into amps over time? Like, did you specialize in amp repair and then kind of those skills transition to other electronics, or how did that work for you? Again, this one's got a jumper wire from here to here, so we're just going to try and bend that out of the way. It's an alcohol-fueled haze. Fair enough. All right, so that's looking good. Oops. Positive going this way. You're fine. You don't have to whisper, you can talk. It's just a live stream about. What time is it? 5? I don't know. 6? Yeah. I'll be hungry by then. All right, positive going to ground. Got it roughly mocked up here. All right, something along those lines. Then we'll get this wire back in here. Looks good. Let's go and add solder. There's an added pressure doing this on a live stream. It's good pressure though. So we did have a little bit of a lift up. That's not a big deal. So what I like to do is just get both sides started so that they're both held, and then you can go back and do the dome. So now they both have solder, and this one's not going to move. When I work on this one, then we can go back over here and add some solder. Cool. Looks like a great dome to me. See if we can replicate it over here. Sweet. We'll go over this one more time. All right, pretty happy with that. Let's go ahead and zoom in to show the work. Yes, my wife is amazing. All right, let's show what that looks like. So there you go. You got a stuffed cap, and yeah, I mean, from the top it looks basically as you'd expect, and then from the side you got a little bit of the foam on the sides, which is again just this kind of stuff. So it doesn't affect anything. It's pretty porous. You don't have really heat issues. Not conductive. I've used it on other stuff and it worked fine, but I guess I can zoom in even further for you guys to see. And yeah, we got a little bit of domes. I might clean those up, get the flux off and all of that later, but that'll be kind of a final step. But there you go. That's one cap stuffed. Now let me do it for YouTube or for the non-live. All right, so there we go. We've got one cap stuffed here. You can see it looks basically original from the top. From the sides, you'll get the little bit of foam, which is fine. And so it's obvious if you're looking, for it. But if you're not, it just looks stock, which is great. Got a little bit of dome here. I might clean those up a little bit later, get the flux off and whatnot, but that'll be a final step. But we can go ahead and do the same process applied over to the bypass caps further down the board. The funny thing about the dome, I'm looking at because the replay takes 2 minutes to get, like this dome right here looks so weird on the video, at least on my end. It's just the way the light hits it. It makes things look weird with the solder because it's shiny, reflective, and there's lights all over. So it just kind of ends up looking weird. But like if I were to hit it again, the light would, the shininess would shift a little bit, the shape of it, which would change what you see. So anyways, that's enough of that. So let's go ahead and continue on further down. Laptop's going to be in the way. So we'll do this one right here. This will be our little, is this 5 microfarad? Yeah, 5 microfarad, 50 volt. The stock value is a 2 microfarad, which is kind of interesting. Much smaller guy, so we'll be able to use a lot more foam. And this should be, yeah, it is. Okay. So this connection right here, this ground wire, is this cap as well. So we'll just go ahead and snip that. Looks like got a little bit of oil on it or something. See how it's darker and lighter? So now I'm just going to clean out these eyelets real quick. Where's everyone enjoying this live stream from? I'm curious. North Dakota. What's the weather like in North Dakota right now? Canada. Wow. Saskatchewan. Did I say that right? Always wanted to go to Canada. What part of Canada is that? West side, east side, middle? Illinois. Nice. What did I do with that? That's over here. Some of that old flux off here. Tech 21 fly rig lives to. Are those worth fixing? Aren't they like $200 or something? 10 degrees and snowy. Wow. That's rough. I guess I shouldn't complain about a little rain then, huh? Middle West, just above North Dakota. Nice. Chicago. Wow, a lot of cold places, huh? Look at me, the Southern Californian, complaining about weather around you guys. A tight eyelet here. Welcome back, Matt. You didn't miss much. Just stuff the cap on the bias supply cap a second ago. Moving on. Man alive. This is the hard part you guys can't see, is that for me to be able to see what's going on over here, I have to cover the entire camera with my head and poke over, so I can't really see. There must still be a good amount of solder still in there. Or is it that it's wrapped around the resistor? Let's see. Just out of curiosity, let's see if I can lift this up. All right, let's let that cool down a little bit. I can't tell. Let me get a bigger view. I can't see in there. Well, while it's doing that, let's just go ahead and swap this in. Portland is raining until June. 32 Celsius and sunny with storms later. 32, I believe that's quite warm, right? We can see just fine. Yeah, that's fair. So basically I'm just lifting the lip on one side of the cardboard here enough so that I can pull the cap out. Try and be careful because it is fragile, it's just paper. There we go. Cool. So now we should be able to work the cap out without damaging anything too much. You can see I'm being really gentle with it, just using a soft edge, and it's still, the paper crumbles on the edges. There's nothing you can do about that. Who is texting me? You guys see? Am I too zoomed out? I don't know. The YouTube video is so far behind. 90, yeah, 90's nice. I was just in Palm Springs area, which Matt will know where that is. And it was perfect. It was like 72 degrees, beautiful, sunny. My wife rented me a Lamborghini to drive around in for the day, which was amazing. So much fun. Pretty amazing little birthday celebration. All right, there we go. So we got the cap out. You can see the difference in size between the original and the modern equivalent. You know, what is it, a fourth, a fifth the size maybe? So we'll go ahead and stuff one side with the foam. There you go. So there's that, and then now we can just poke it through. She does have an older sister, but she is not single. Matt, remind me. So you do the whole train thing, right? And you go through Anza Borrego, Arcatia Wells, right? Do you go right along the, you know, where everyone goes shooting, right along the train tracks? Do you take that route? Do you guys go right by as everybody's shooting? Ooh, a 60 Brown concert. Wow. I would love to try one of those one of these days. I bet that thing sounds amazing. I'm after a brown face myself. I mentioned this earlier in the video, but I've got my eyes on a 60 Bandmaster, which is a very rare amp, center volume, but it's got a lot of work that's been done to it, and I'm hesitant to pay the asking price. Replaced output transformer, replaced speakers. The inside looks basically identical to this, untouched. But the chassis had some holes drilled in it, you know, all that unfortunate stuff. You haven't seen people shooting there in years? I was just there a couple weeks ago shooting, and the train went by me. And I was like, I wonder if Matt's on that train. Aren't there people out there shooting all the time? Right in Arcatia Wells, right on the train tracks. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing here. So we got this side foam with the lead sticking out. We'll do the same on this side. Might have made it a little bit too big. Let's see. Actually, no, it looks to be just about perfect. Kills the value. Oh, I know. But here's the thing, Matt. The value of a clean one is 10,000. It's easily a five-figure amp. So, you know, what is one with a replaced output transformer and replaced speakers? Now, here's the thing, too, with those amps, right? So they're 3x10. and the output transformers never last in them. You see them, you know, the ones that do show up almost always have a replaced output transformer because they're way underpowered for what they were doing in the impedance mismatch. But then also the speaker is always blue because the little, what are they, P10R would have been original. They can't handle 40 watts. Sorry, I missed the part of the live stream. Did you mention what kind of foam it is? You know, I don't. It's just packing foam, high density, I guess, packing foam. And it's not conductive. It, you know, it's got the air gaps in it and whatnot, so it doesn't, you know, hold heat too bad. Not that these get really hot, but yeah, I've done some testing with it in my own personal amps and it works great. But I don't know, you know, it's just kind of foam, really nice dense foam you can, you know, you get in packaging. Typically it's white, but I got some packaging with it in black and that was perfect. Played one with a 15-inch JBL. Whoa. Brown Pro. Oh yeah. You know, I've never gotten on with 15-inch speakers. I wish I did because I could get a Tweed Pro a lot easier than other amps that I'm more interested in. They're pretty common. This is where things get a bit tricky. Just trying to fold it back over. I typically run through, at night. Got it, yeah. That makes sense. Stuff is all about just kind of taking your time. There's no really way to fast track this. Just kind of just putting in the effort. Yeah, you know, I just had the idea. When I did this originally to my, what is it? What is the spring tank? 6G15? Is that what it is? And because it was all original inside, and so I wanted to stuff it, and I had this idea. It worked out pretty well. So I know Uncle Doug, I've seen him make wooden dowels, which is really cool. But I don't have the tools to do that. Got just about all the way crimped. I'm just using a dental pick here. I've got two of them with different ends, you know, straight, full angle, hook, and then this one, which has been helpful. There you can see, it's all crimped over now. And so this will go just like that. And you won't be able to tell until you look at it from the side. And obviously, like I mentioned before, I will leave a note inside the amplifier to point out that it has been stuffed. The caps have been stuffed. Play the Brown Pro, Silverface Pro, and TV Front Pro, all great. Silverface Pro. They make a 15-inch speakered Silverface Pro? I didn't know that. Big fan of the Pro Reverb, the 2x12. Those are great. I've had two of them. Sold one to my bandmate, and then the other one I sold to Worship Tutorials, if you guys have ever heard of them. They've got a big YouTube following. And they make profiles with Kempers and whatnot. Yeah, exactly. It gives you padding. It's you know, and it expands, right? So you don't have to get the shape perfect. You get in and it'll expand out so you can go bigger, and it's much easier to work with. You know, it's I think it's just a smarter move. Easier, work smarter, not harder kind of thing. But yeah, it looks great. I'm going to go ahead and try and record on OBS because I don't know. Let's see. Let me see if it'll let me record, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to record through the camera because the audio is going to be so bad. Audio output. Same as stream. Oh, no. I can't change it. I can't do a higher quality recording. All right, whatever. Whatever. Sorry, Scott. I don't know if this is going to be able to turn into a video outside of the live stream. It might just have to be here's what the work I did. And then tell people to go to the live stream to see it done. What's a nice Pro Reverb? What era? Blackface or Silverface? I sold my Blackface Pro Reverb in very, very good condition with lots of nice work done to it for, what did I sell? 1800, 1850, somewhere in that range. I think they're the steal of that kind of era. They're such great amps. I prefer it over a Twin. I just think they're really great sounding. And they're very underrated. Silverface would be probably in the, I don't know, 1200 range, 1400 range. Those are sold prices, not listing too. Listing, who knows what. Blackface 15 Pro. Sorry, yeah, Blackface. I would say they're easily available under 2K, and they're worth every penny. It's so much amp. They're such a good wattage for gigging. If you're in a loud band, they're it's just so good for that. You know, in our band, when my bandmate used his, you get up to about 4.5, 5. Just opens up and sounds just so good. Big fan of the Pro Reverb. Definitely the unsung hero of the Fender line. All right, we're just trying to clean out this eyelet so we can get a nice, clean, fresh connection with everything. Super Reverbs are the best amp Fender ever made, and they're Matt. The prices on Super Reverbs are insane. They're everywhere. I've passed on so many in the, low, 1500 to 1800 range. They're just everywhere. They're so available. I don't want to buy one because they're so easy to purchase. It's like I don't want to waste, the money. Well, I say waste in quotation marks. I don't want to, at the time, I would rather spend the money on something rare and harder to find than an amp that is, super available. No pun intended. Yeah, I don't know why they're not sought after either. I mean, people say like, oh, they're not a Leo Fender designed amp, right? People say that because they came in after CBS bought Fender, but it's not strictly true, really. I mean, kind of is true, but the circuit is like what do they call it? Is it AB763? Whatever it is like right after CBS bought Fender, and I hope I'm not misremembering that, but it's like right after. So it's surely Leo Fender engineers designed the Pro circuit, and they're all very similar. I mean, the Pro is basically the Vibrolux with the bigger power transformer and 212, right? It's like very, very similar. So some people are weird about that stuff, though. All right, there's just not a lot of room here to fit all these leads. I'm a little worried about that. .763, yeah. Hemostat makes a good lead, more contact area. Yeah, I have one of those, but they crunch the lead. I feel like Does yours not? Maybe mine just gets too tight or something. I just redid my uncle's early 6.6 Pro reverb. Selling a couple years, and I have first dibs. 1800 is what they go for. I think it's a steal. Like, a steal would be like 1500. But I don't think they're selling for $2,000 plus. I mean, maybe on Reverb if you're in an area that doesn't have these amps at all, but locally they're available. 59 Basement, nope. I've been after 59 Basement for forever. I had a lead on a couple actually at one point, but they didn't materialize. And then people wanted too much money for them, and poof went that dream. So we've got to fit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leads in this one eyelet. I'm a little dubious about that. I'm a little confused because it looks like there's something in the eyelet, but no solder's coming out. So I'm trying to just see what's in here. I don't want to snap this either. Yeah, looks like there's some solder way deep down in there still. It's kind of blocking some of it. Let's see if I can just try and get that out. You saw one on a Reaver for $6,000. Was it hacked to pieces? There's a local guy with the 59 that wants 7, and I talked to him for a while about it. It's basically all original, but it's quite ugly. The thing has been beaten, and not in a good way. Normally beat up tweeds look cool. This one looks pretty rough. And I talked to him about doing a partial trade deal with my 59 Princeton and some other stuff, and he's deciding to hold on to it. And it's been listed for, a year now at this point, with no movement. But you got some stubborn sellers that don't want to do anything. I'm actually after a Tremolux. I mentioned this before, but that's the tweed I want. And same sort of deal. There's one local listed on Reverb, but also locally, and he keeps lowering his price on Reverb. But I offered him fair market value. I offered him exactly what the average past 6 months of sales on Reverb went for the Tremolux in that condition. And I said, I'll pay you that, and you don't have to pay fees or anything, in the local deal. And he declined. So some people just want way more than they go for. Speakers are I mean, that's no big deal, in my opinion. I don't think that's a big deal with a tweed Fender like that. Those can be had. And the speakers don't even last that, those speakers can't even really handle it in the first place, and they blow fairly often. So that would definitely not be a deal breaker for me. All right, now it looks like we can probably fit the leads in here. My 59 Basement is, the 59 most are pretty ratty for. What is affordable-ish? I really see anything prior to 75 from Fender. Yeah, that's kind of sad. It's kind of sad there, Brad. I'm surrounded by vintage amps right now everywhere. It's a bit of an embarrassment of riches, to be honest, with all that stuff. I'm desensitized to it a little bit. But just kind of just from where I live. I live basically not far at all from where all these amps originated. So, of course, there's going to be more here. Then obviously just being Southern California, it's a fairly wealthy area. A lot of music in LA, and all that culminates in availability. All right. 7,500 and 10K for what? For the Basement? I'd pay 5 to 6 for the right one, but I wouldn't pay more than that. Let's just confirm the lead will even fit before I do anything else. Should fit. Yep, does fit. Does fit. Cool. We made the room. Scott, so yeah, Scott's still on here. I hope you're happy with the results so far, Scott. Where's my Sharpie? I really want a Tremolux, though. I just think that might be the perfect tweed gigging amp for me. The other thought I had is just going with a frickin' Pro, because they're everywhere, and getting a 12-inch baffle. That's another option. The Pro's got more power, so it might be better in that case, but I don't know. I've heard the Tremolux stays pretty clean. Concert venue in San Juan Capistrano. Yeah. Concert venue that has a treasure trove vintage fenders. That's interesting. Like backline? That's the one thing I can't, you know, well, it's not a deal breaker 100%, but a retweed, for some reason, that's hard for me to get past. Just because the tweed is just such a big part of the look. Replace power transformer is not that big of a deal. Looks pretty good. You're saying the Tweed Bandmaster 5E7? I've only ever played the reissue Bassman, and it was a very cool amp. All right, guys, that looks good. Let's go ahead and just clip off this ground a little bit, clean it up. Maybe I've just never tried the right 15. That could be it too. All right, looks good. I walked away for a minute to make dinner. I was just saying maybe I haven't tried the right 15 or the right amp with a 15-inch speaker. I don't know. They just always sound weird to me. So this one's stuffed. This one's stuffed. We got 2 more to go. Probably stop for dinner, to be honest, pretty soon, but chunky. The damn heart's in the way. I can't see what you said. There, that is some chunky solder there, bud. You saying the gauge? This is 0.062 or 1.5 mil. I got thicker, which I find easier to do domes with. My normal one I use is 0.031 or 0.8 mil. I don't know if you can see that, but I use this for the domes. It's just easier. I can do a zoom in, I guess, and show you guys what it looks like. So you can see it's obvious, it's stuffed, you know, when you look at it from the side, but from the top you can't tell. I don't know if it's focused or not because I can't see anything, but is that how you get those vintage domes? Yeah, so we talked about this a little bit earlier, but the reason they had them originally is because you can see one right here, for example, is they installed all the components and soldered them in from the bottom, so the gravity pulled the solder down and created the dome. So when you add in solder, and if you were to flip the board over, you would see a dome on the other side if you add in a lot of solder. And so to get that look of the dome without, you know, doing everything upside down, it's a bit tricky, and it takes some practice to get the domes. It involves, like, you don't want to push the solder in. You got to kind of let it float and hover and add solder and lift up as you go. But you want to make sure it's a strong connection too. So that's why I always do a regular solid solder joint first, one side, then the other side, and then I go ahead and add the dome to the other side. That just kind of seems to work for me, and you get those nice pretty domes, which look, you know, more or less factory, which is what it's just those other little touches. You know, most techs wouldn't do that, and I don't necessarily blame them, but for me, I really like to see that. And yeah, I think that kind of shows that extra care, a little extra attention to detail. I buy the 50 twisted together for that. Yeah, I used to twist this one together, but it's just more work. Why not just use this thicker? 0.71. So that's half. What is that? Yeah, so that's even smaller than this. Damn, that's really small. That's too small. This I find really weedy. 50 thousandths. So we made pretty good progress so far. I don't know how Brad gets anything done doing the live streams because you take everything so slow. Is dinner ready?
Yes.
Alrighty, I'm getting called for dinner. Well, this was a massive fail of a live stream to begin with. I have 22 viewers. Wow, I think that's the most ever. I even do that on my clone builds. Doming just looks good. I agree. You know, it's kind of like a skill test. Like if somebody doesn't dome or can't dome, I'm a little weary of the work. I know that's like totally wrong, but it's kind of like a judgment thing that I unconsciously might do. 0.71 for connectors. Yeah, on a Fender, I just think doming's the way. And it took a while to get it, but now that I got it, I can do it pretty consistently. But all right, guys, I'm gonna eat, and honestly, I'll probably jump back on and finish this on the live stream a bit later after I eat in like maybe an hour or so. So if anybody wants to come back later tonight and hang out, by all means, maybe I'll be able to figure out some of the technical issues a bit more too, though no promises there. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Scott, looking forward to continuing to work on this amp if you're still around and getting this thing dialed for you. This is going to be a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful sounding and looking amplifier when we're done. So can't wait to finish it up. Thank you guys for the birthday wishes. Tell your wife she does roll. I will let her know. She knows it though. Awesome. Thank you guys. Much appreciated. And until next time, I will see you all later. Happy eating. Thank you.